Galton Buddha always used to tell his students that our words can be very powerful. He said that our tongue, which we use to speak, is like the sharpest knife in the world. He also said that the most dangerous weapon in the world is our words. Even though they don't physically hurt people, our words can hurt people emotionally. Our words can be a source of strength, but they can also be a weakness if we don't know when, where, and how much to speak. When we speak kindly and wisely at the right moments, it can lead to success. But if we speak unkindly or at the wrong times, it can make our life very difficult. So, friends, today I'll share a story about the importance of staying silent and how it has the power to change your life. This story will help you understand how silence can be powerful. Once upon a time in India, there was a famous Buddhist monk who lived deep in the quiet forest, far from the noise of the world. He was a very meditative person and was also very famous throughout India. One day, a king came to him and said, "Respected monk, I always feel tired, frustrated, and upset. My mind is very restless. Even though I have everything, wealth, fame, and all the luxuries one could desire, there is still no inner peace within me. Oh monk, please help me to get rid of this restless mind." The monk said, "You already hold the answer within you, but you have never discovered it. I want to do an experiment. Would you like to do that experiment? After this experiment, there will be no unrest and worry in your life." The king was very upset after hearing all this, but asked the monk to tell him what to do and said, "I am ready to do anything for my peace of mind." Then the monk replied in a calm voice, "For the next 15 days, you will stay in my monastery and live like a normal person. For these 15 days, you will sit alone in silence and speak as little as possible." The king agreed to the monk's plan. On the first day, he noticed that his mind was more restless than usual. Many questions and thoughts kept popping up, and he felt uneasy living a simple life like everyone else. He really wanted to talk, but resisted the urge and stayed completely silent, just sitting quietly. But as the night went on, he began to feel an unexpected sense of calm and happiness. This experience puzzled him because he couldn't understand why his restlessness was fading away. The next day, the king continued to spend time in solitude, watching nature, flowers, plants, and birds in the sky. For the first time, he truly appreciated the beauty of nature surrounding him. He could observe and connect with the natural world all around him. 10 days went by, and all the inner restlessness and chaos in his mind gradually vanished. On the 12th day, he found himself entering into deep meditation. As his eyes closed on their own, he closed his eyes and entered into a deep state of meditation, and his mind became free from worry. The king experienced profound inner peace. After spending the last 3 days in deep meditation, he approached the Buddhist monk and said, "Respected monk, I have discovered why my mind was so troubled." He explained, "As I figured out the reason for my distracted and troubled mind," the monk asked, "Please share with me what you've learned." The king replied, "I used to talk too much and spend a lot of energy on people, often thinking negatively about them. This excessive talking and negative thinking wasted my time and made my mind disturbed. As a result of this behavior, I couldn't perform my tasks effectively, and I started failing in almost everything. These continuous failures made me even more unhappy and easily annoyed. It continued to negatively impact my life. However, these 15 days were a transformative experience. Now I feel like I'm truly living life to its fullest. And I realized that before this, I was living it the wrong way. I also realized that we don't have to force meditation. It happens naturally." The Buddhist monk mentioned that it's not just the king. Many people in the world talk too much. Even today, many people use speech to hurt others, and this excessive talking is still causing problems in their lives. The monk explained to the king the importance of being silent. He shared a story about a student who once asked Gautama Buddha why he was silent so often. Buddha replied, "I stay silent to dive deep within myself." Silence is the first step to truly knowing yourself. Without silence, self-discovery is impossible, so the first step is to be silent. Only speak when necessary, and you'll see that most of our talking, about 90%, is harmful. It would have been better if people didn't talk too much. It could have reduced about 90% of the problems. When people become quieter, there are fewer fights, less restlessness, and less arguing. If both individuals learn to stay silent, many problems in the world could be avoided. Someone who understands the value of silence can be at peace even in a crowded place. Being alone can be like heaven. The company of others can sometimes make us uncomfortable. It's important to start by finding peace within yourself and embracing silence, allowing your inner energy to flow. Invite your thoughts to settle down. If you wake up and feel disturbed by the presence of others, it's a good idea to close your eyes and reconnect with your inner self. You'll find a sense of freshness inside yourself because that's where your life originates. It's not in anyone else. It comes from the same source as you. When no one else can take you within, you must go there yourself. So look inward because you are the ultimate ruler of your inner world. That's where life begins, and that's where happiness is born. When you look inside yourself, you'll encounter the depths of life and even touch upon the notion of death. This inner journey is like watching your own life go through ups and downs, like the sun rising and setting. Every time you take this inner journey and come back, you'll feel refreshed. It's like you feel cool after a nice bath. In the same way, when someone takes time to be quiet and reflect on their thoughts, they often feel more peaceful and happy afterward. When you really connect with your inner self, you'll find that talking doesn't make your mind feel upset. Instead, there's a constant feeling of calmness inside you. You can talk and still remain connected to your inner self. You can use words without breaking your inner peace. When you do this, your words will have a beautiful quality, like music, and everything will be in harmony. Speaking this way will touch others deeply. When you maintain inner silence, you start to tap into a strong inner strength and break free from societal pressures. You'll find a special joy in life, similar to the joy of those who passionately follow their dreams. Your face will have a new brightness, and your eyes will shine with a unique light as you dive into the ocean of endless peace. Friends, you might have noticed that talking too much doesn't bring peace to the mind. It makes it hard to control our thoughts and to stay focused. People who talk too much find it difficult to concentrate on one task because of this. They can't give their full attention to their goals and often miss out on understanding the true meaning of life, making it more difficult to attain their desired success. Furthermore, you may have noticed that those who talk too much are sometimes mocked by others, and those who speak less and stand by their words will earn respect from others because people tend to pay attention to what someone says and trust their words. However, a person with a troubled mind typically finds it hard to succeed because they lack genuine interest in their work. True intelligence lies in knowing when, where, and what to say, and those who develop this skill tend to succeed in various situations. A person who speaks less often becomes the center of attention and tends to succeed in various pursuits. When we observe the qualities of great individuals, we find that they use few words carefully, considering what they say, and this contributes to their success. In contrast, there are many who talk excessively, often resorting to dishonesty and spreading negativity about others, which can harm relationships and reputations. That's why the people close to them often try to avoid and stay away from them. In ancient texts from different cultures, they often talk about how our words reflect our beliefs and values. Being quiet helps us become patient, which makes us more aware. Meditating can help us understand ourselves better. So, my friends, I suggest you spend at least 20 minutes alone in solitude every day. This can bring so much positive change in your life. As we come to the end of this Zen journey, I invite you to become an integral part of our Inspira Zen community. If you found inspiration in this story, support us by hitting the like button, sharing it with your friends, and leaving a comment below with your thoughts or any Zen stories you'd like to hear next. And for more moments of motivation and tranquility, don't forget to subscribe and ring the notification bell. Your engagement fuels our journey. Thank you for walking this path of wisdom and enlightenment with us.
Imagine a life where fear no longer holds you back. A life where you approach challenges with calm, clarity, and confidence. What if I told you that Buddhist teachings, which have guided millions towards peace and wisdom for over 2,500 years, offer powerful tools to overcome fear and transform your mindset? In today's video, we're going to explore 6 powerful lessons from the Buddha on how to stop your fears, embrace life with courage, and move beyond your limitations. These teachings will help you understand the nature of fear, shift your perspective, and ultimately find freedom from the anxiety that holds you back. So, if you are ready to break free from the grip of fear, let's dive into these transformative Buddhist lessons. 1. Embrace impermanence, anicca. Buddha taught that everything in life is impermanent, our thoughts, emotions, and even our fears. Fear and anxiety often arise when we resist change or cling to the idea that things should remain exactly as they are. We fear losing things, our job, our health, our loved ones, and the very thought of these losses can trigger panic and unease. But the reality is that life is always in flux. The only constant is change. Buddhism teaches us that attachment to things that are impermanent only creates suffering. When we get too attached to specific outcomes or worry about future uncertainties, we reinforce the illusion that life should stay the same. This attachment is a major source of fear. But here is the truth: everything is temporary. The happiness you feel today may not last forever, but neither will your pain, your anxiety, or your fear. Nothing is permanent, and everything changes. And that's where the power of anicca comes in. When you understand that everything in your life is temporary, including your fears, you start to let go of the need for control. You no longer need to hold tightly to the illusion that things should stay fixed. Instead of fearing the unknown or worrying about losing something, you can shift your mindset and learn to embrace change as a natural part of life. When you are in a period of hardship, whether you are facing a difficult challenge at work, in a relationship, or struggling with your own emotions, remember that this too shall pass. The discomfort you feel right now is not permanent. Anicca reminds us that the suffering we experience is transient and constantly changing. By accepting this, we free ourselves from the fear of permanent failure or pain. When you accept that everything is impermanent, you stop overthinking the future. Instead of imagining worst-case scenarios that may never come to pass, you start living with more equanimity. You are able to trust that whatever happens will change in time, and that your mind will adapt to new circumstances as they come. Anicca teaches you to be present and not get lost in worry about what might happen next. So how to practice embracing impermanence? Take time to reflect on the changing nature of everything around you. Whether it's the seasons, the growth of a tree, or the passing of a day, remember that nothing stays the same forever. Recognizing the natural flow of life can help you accept your own changing circumstances. Since impermanence teaches us that the present moment is all we truly have, focus on being present. Stop dwelling on the past or worrying about the future. Instead, bring your attention to what is happening right now. In doing so, you will see that even your fears are temporary and will pass. 2. See the illusion of fear. Buddha taught that much of what we experience is an illusion created by our minds. Fear, too, is often based on our imagination, the what-ifs that have not happened yet. By recognizing that fear is often a product of our thoughts and not reality, we can begin to separate ourselves from the stories our minds tell us. In that awareness, fear loses its grip. Imagine this. You're standing at the edge of a cliff, looking down. Your heart races, your palms sweat. But what is really happening? Are you falling? No. Are you in danger? Not at all. What is happening is that your mind is anticipating something that isn't even real. Our minds create these stories. We imagine the worst-case scenario. We play out every possible disaster in our heads. But here's the truth. Fear is just a thought. It's not a fact. It is a mental pattern, one that you can break. Fear is like a shadow that disappears when you face it with the light of awareness. Every time you step into something new, you will feel fear. But that fear is not a reflection of reality. It is a signal that you are stepping out of your comfort zone. It is a sign of growth. Fear is not trying to stop you. It is trying to teach you that you are on the verge of something greater. Do not let the illusion of fear hold you back from stepping into your power. You are not the fear you feel. You are the awareness behind it. You are the strength that faces it. And when you see fear for what it truly is, a temporary, fleeting illusion, you take away its power over you. You see that fear is simply a thought in your mind, and just like all thoughts, it can change, it can pass. So, the next time fear comes knocking, remember this, it's not real. It's just an illusion. You have the power to let it go. You have the strength to overcome it. And you have the courage to live the life you truly deserve. 3. Cultivate mindfulness. Sati. Mindfulness is the practice of being fully present in the moment. Fear often lives in the past or future, creating stories in our minds. When we bring ourselves back to the present moment, through mindful breathing, awareness of our body, or simply focusing on our surroundings, we create space between ourselves and the fear. We realize that fear is just a passing thought, not an undeniable truth. Mindfulness develops mental stability, allowing you to stay calm, even in the face of fear. When you are fully present, you are not reacting impulsively to every fearful thought that enters your mind. Instead, you're able to pause and choose how to respond. When fear-based thoughts arise, practice observing them with detachment. Sit quietly and notice the thoughts that come into your mind. What if I fail? Or what if something bad happens? Instead of getting swept away by them, simply acknowledge that these are just thoughts. You can label them if it helps. Here is fear again. By observing without attachment, you stop identifying with the fear and create space to choose how to respond. Fear doesn't just affect our thoughts, it also manifests in our bodies. You might notice a racing heart, tightness in your chest, shallow breathing, or sweaty palms when you are anxious or afraid. Through mindfulness, you can bring awareness to these physical sensations. Rather than trying to escape them or make them go away, you learn to observe them with curiosity. By acknowledging the physical presence of fear, without judgment or resistance, you start to desensitize yourself to it. The Buddha taught, the mind is everything, what you think you become. When you can observe your fear and body's response without reacting to it, you start to transform your relationship with fear itself. 4. Understand the nature of suffering, dukkha. In Buddhist teachings, the nature of suffering is a central concept that not only explains the difficulties we face in life, but also offers the path toward liberation from those difficulties. Fear, as an emotional response, is one of the many forms of suffering that arise from our relationship with the world. By understanding dukkha and its deeper causes, we can transform our experience of fear and move toward inner freedom. The Buddha taught that suffering is a natural part of life and that it is universal. Fear, anxiety, and worry are simply types of suffering that arise when we encounter situations of uncertainty, loss, or perceived danger. These are not unique to you, but part of the human experience. The fact that suffering is universal means that everyone experiences fear in some form, whether it is fear of failure, fear of loss, fear of rejection, or existential fears like the fear of death. Fear often arises when we feel threatened, but when we understand that suffering is universal, we realize we are not alone in our fear. How this helps with overcoming fear. When you recognize that fear is a common human experience, it becomes less isolating and less intimidating. You can relate to others who also face fear, which reduces the intensity and personal nature of it. Fear loses its grip when you see it as part of the natural flow of life, something everyone experiences, not a personal failing. 5. Let go of attachment, tanha. In Buddhism, one of the most powerful teachings for overcoming fear is the concept of letting go of attachment, or tanha. Tanha refers to the craving, clinging, or attachment to things, experiences, people, or even our own identity. It is this attachment that often fuels our fears, anxieties, and insecurities. Understanding how to release attachment is key to overcoming fear and finding lasting peace. So, what is attachment, tanha? Tanha is often translated as craving or thirst, a strong desire to possess or control something, whether it be material things, emotional experiences, or even our own identities. Attachment arises from the belief that something external to us will bring us lasting happiness or security. We become fixated on these things, thinking that without them, we cannot be whole or safe. Fear often arises when we perceive that we are losing or could lose what we are attached to. Whether it's the fear of losing a relationship, a job, social status, or even our own sense of identity, attachment causes us to feel insecure and vulnerable. Letting go of attachment doesn't mean that we stop caring about things or giving up our desires, but rather that we stop clinging to them if they define our happiness or safety. It means we stop depending on external conditions to provide lasting security. When we release attachment, we free ourselves from the grip of fear. Without the weight of attachment, we are less likely to be shaken by change, loss, or the unpredictable nature of life. In order to let go of attachment, you can practice non-attachment. Non-attachment doesn't mean indifference or detachment from life. It means approaching life with a sense of equanimity and openness. It involves enjoying things without clinging to them or expecting them to provide lasting satisfaction. If you feel fear around a particular outcome, for example, an important project or exam, practice non-attachment by focusing on doing your best rather than being attached to the specific result. You can take action without being consumed by the outcome. Also, you can practice letting go of the need for control. Fear often arises when we try to control every aspect of our lives. We fear the unknown because we can't predict what will happen. But life is inherently unpredictable, and trying to control everything only increases anxiety. By letting go of the need for control, you allow life to unfold as it will. This doesn't mean being passive or careless, but rather accepting that we cannot control all outcomes, and that uncertainty is a natural part of life. 6. Cultivate patience, khanti. In Buddhism, patience, khanti, is a powerful virtue that plays a central role in overcoming fear. Fear often arises from impatience, our desire for immediate answers, quick fixes, or control over uncertain situations. When we cultivate patience, we create space for our fears to subside, and we develop the inner strength to face life's challenges with equanimity. Let's explore how patience can help you transform fear into calm and wisdom. Fear often emerges from a sense of urgency. We are afraid because we don't know what will happen next, or we're anxious about the future. This anxiety is rooted in a lack of patience, a desire for quick results or certainty in a world that is inherently uncertain. Fear of uncertainty. When we don't know what the future holds, we panic. We want to control outcomes, but life is unpredictable, and this causes discomfort. Fear of delay. We fear that things won't happen on our timetable, whether it is achieving a goal, overcoming a challenge, or waiting for something important to unfold. The Buddha taught that impatience feeds suffering, while patience offers a way out of fear and anxiety. In order to overcome fear, we must learn to be patient with the present moment, accepting that things unfold in their own time. Patience helps us accept what is beyond our control. When we cultivate patience, we learn to accept uncertainty and trust that things will unfold as they are meant to, even if we can't predict or control them. This trust reduces the fear that comes from trying to manage the uncontrollable. Patience helps us tolerate discomfort. Fear, like any other emotion, often arises when we encounter discomfort, whether it's emotional, mental, or physical. We may fear the discomfort itself or the idea that we won't be able to handle it. Patience helps us bear discomfort without reacting impulsively or trying to escape it. Instead of running away from the sensation of fear, patience allows us to stay present with it. Over time, we learn that fear, like all emotions, is temporary. When we allow fear to be present without resistance, it gradually loses its intensity. Patience with ourselves. Fear often comes from self-judgment, worrying that we are not good enough, that we will fail, or that we will disappoint ourselves or others. When we cultivate patience, we allow ourselves the time and space to grow. We stop expecting perfection and recognize that mistakes and setbacks are part of the human experience. Being patient with ourselves reduces fear of failure. It allows us to approach life's challenges with a more compassionate and understanding mindset, knowing that growth takes time and that it's okay to stumble along the way. By embracing these 6 teachings from Buddha, you can start to transform your relationship with fear. Instead of being overwhelmed or paralyzed by fear, you'll begin to see it as an opportunity for growth, awareness, and deeper peace. Remember, fear is not something to fight against or repress. It's simply a part of life, something we can learn to understand, navigate, and eventually transcend through mindfulness, compassion, and wisdom. If you found these lessons helpful, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And remember, you have the power to stop your fears and live a life filled with courage, peace, and freedom. Thank you for watching.
Having a strong mind is super important for how well you do in life. It's like a secret power that helps you keep going even when things get tough. Mental strength is what helps you tackle problems, stick to your goals, and face challenges with determination, especially when your talents and skills alone aren't enough. This video is all about the key ideas in Buddhism and how they relate to 10 habits that can make your mind weaker. If we learn and use these teachings, we can start a journey to make our minds stronger and more able to bounce back from tough times. Habit number 1, having a negative mindset. A negative mindset is like a heavy cloud that covers the bright sun of our inner happiness. It's a habit that makes us mentally weak because it colors everything in our life with shades of gloom and despair. When we constantly focus on the bad things, we miss out on the good stuff happening around us. It's like wearing dark glasses. Everything appears dim, even the beautiful moments. If we're always thinking negatively, we start believing that everything is bad. and that success and happiness are impossible. This mental outlook becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy, influencing our actions and decisions. We may become afraid to take chances or try new things because we've convinced ourselves they'll fail. To overcome a negative mindset, we can turn to the teachings of Buddhism. One key idea is mindfulness, which means paying attention to our thoughts without judging them. Instead of letting negative thoughts take over, we can acknowledge them and then choose to focus on positive aspects. It's like sweeping away the clouds to let the sun shine through. Buddhism also introduces the practice of metta, or loving-kindness meditation. This involves directing warm and positive thoughts towards ourselves and others. By regularly practicing metta, we gradually shift our mindset from negativity to a more compassionate and positive outlook. The concept of impermanence in Buddhism teaches us that everything changes. The bad times will pass, just like the good times. Knowing this, we can face challenges with a more resilient mindset, understanding that difficulties are not permanent. By embracing these Buddhist teachings, we empower ourselves to break free from the chains of negativity and foster a positive and resilient mind. Habit number 2. Complaining about things outside your control. Complaining about things outside our control is like holding onto a hot coal. It only hurts us. This habit weakens our minds because it puts our focus on what's wrong rather than on finding solutions. It's like getting stuck in quicksand. The more we complain, the deeper we sink into negativity. The teachings of Buddhism shed light on why this habit makes us mentally weak and how we can break free from its grip. When we complain, we often forget about impermanence, a big idea in Buddhism. Impermanence means that everything is always changing. Complaining tends to make us believe that things will never get better, trapping us in a cycle of discontent. Instead of seeing challenges as temporary, we make them seem like permanent problems. To overcome the habit of complaining, we can practice acceptance. This means understanding that life has ups and downs, and we can't control everything. Acceptance is like learning to dance in the rain instead of complaining about the storm. By accepting what we cannot change, we free ourselves from the heavy burden of constant complaint. Buddhism also encourages us to focus our energy on things we can control. It's like steering a boat in a storm. We may not control the weather, but we can navigate our vessel. By taking action where we have power, we move from a passive complaining mode to an active problem-solving mindset. In the teachings of Buddhism, letting go is another powerful practice. It's like releasing a balloon. We feel lighter when we let go of unnecessary burdens. Letting go doesn't mean giving up. It means releasing the tight grip on complaints and allowing space for positive change. By incorporating these Buddhist principles into our lives, we learn to approach challenges with a balanced mind, accepting the impermanence of situations and focusing our efforts where we can make a difference. In doing so, we liberate ourselves from the grip of complaints and cultivate a mental strength that propels us forward, even in the face of adversity. Habit number 3. Not expressing yourself. Not expressing yourself is like having a treasure chest, but keeping it locked away. This habit weakens our minds because it stops us from sharing our thoughts, feelings, and ideas with the world. It's like trying to navigate a dark room without turning on the light. Things get confusing and overwhelming. The teachings of Buddhism guide us to understand why this habit makes us mentally weak and how we can break free from its constraints. In Buddhism, expressing oneself authentically is considered essential for building a strong foundation for mental well-being. When we hold back our thoughts and emotions, it's like bottling up a fizzy drink. The pressure builds, and eventually it might explode. This explosion could be in the form of stress, anxiety, or a feeling of being overwhelmed because we haven't let out what's inside. The practice of right speech in Buddhism encourages us to communicate with truth, kindness, and mindfulness. It's like planting seeds of positivity when we speak. Our words can grow into a garden of understanding and connection. By aligning our words with these principles, we build a bridge between ourselves and others, fostering authentic relationships. To overcome the habit of not expressing oneself, mindfulness becomes a valuable tool. Mindfulness is like a mirror. It reflects our thoughts and helps us become aware of our feelings. By being present in the moment, we can observe our thoughts without judgment and express ourselves with clarity and compassion. Expressing oneself is not just about words. It can also involve nonverbal communication, such as body language and gestures. These unspoken expressions are like a secret language, conveying our feelings and thoughts even when we don't say a word. By being aware of our nonverbal communication, we enhance our ability to express ourselves authentically. By integrating these Buddhist teachings into our lives, we learn that authentic expression is not only liberating for ourselves, but also contributes to the well-being of those around us. It's like opening a window to let fresh air in. Expressing ourselves allows the light of understanding and connection to brighten our mental space. In breaking free from the habit of not expressing ourselves, we embark on a journey towards authenticity, building a resilient and empowered mind. Habit number 4, blaming others for your problems. Blaming others for our problems is like trying to run a race with a backpack full of rocks. It weighs us down and slows our progress. This habit weakens our minds because it takes away our power. It's like handing the steering wheel of our life to someone else instead of driving ourselves. The teachings of Buddhism illuminate why this habit makes us mentally weak and how we can untangle ourselves from the blame game. In Buddhism, the concept of karma teaches us that our actions have consequences. Blaming others is like ignoring this law. It's refusing to recognize that we play a role in the unfolding of our own lives. When we blame, we become like spectators rather than active participants in our journey. Taking personal responsibility is about understanding that we have the ability to shape our experiences. It's like being the captain of our ship. We may face storms, but we can navigate through them. When we blame others, it's like saying we have no control, but in reality, we do. By embracing the idea that our actions matter, we empower ourselves to make positive choices, to overcome the habit of blaming. Forgiveness plays a crucial role. Forgiveness is not about saying what others did is okay. It's about releasing ourselves from the burden of carrying resentment. It's like setting down a heavy backpack. We feel lighter and freer. Forgiving others and ourselves is a powerful step towards reclaiming our personal responsibility. Mindfulness, a key practice in Buddhism, helps us become aware of our thoughts and actions. It's like shining a light on a dark path. We can see where we're going. By being mindful, we can catch ourselves when we're tempted to blame and choose a more empowering response. This shift from blame to responsibility is like trading the rocks in our backpack for wings that help us soar. Incorporating these Buddhist teachings into our lives invites us to step into our power and take charge of our journey. Breaking free from the blame game is not just about holding others accountable. It's about recognizing our agency and ability to shape a positive and resilient mindset. By steering away from blame and embracing personal responsibility, we embark on a journey towards mental strength and self-empowerment. Habit number 5, fantasizing instead of visualizing. Fantasizing instead of visualizing is like building castles in the air. They might be beautiful, but they lack a solid foundation. This habit weakens our minds because it disconnects us from the reality of our present moment. It's like chasing mirages in a desert. We may never reach what we're yearning for. The teachings of Buddhism offer insights into why this habit makes us mentally weak and how we can shift from fantasies to visualization for a more grounded and positive mindset. Fantasies often involve unrealistic scenarios and wishful thinking. It's like expecting a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. A beautiful idea, but not based in reality. When we get lost in fantasies, it's like daydreaming while missing out on the beauty of the present moment. This habit weakens us because it can lead to disappointment when reality doesn't align with our imagined scenarios. Visualization, on the other hand, involves creating mental images of achievable goals. It's like having a treasure map. We can chart a course to reach our aspirations. Buddhism emphasizes the importance of right intention and right action, which align with visualizing positive outcomes and taking practical steps toward realizing them. By grounding our aspirations in reality, we bridge the gap between dreams and achievable goals. The teachings of impermanence in Buddhism remind us that change is a constant. Fantasies often involve clinging to a fixed idea of the future, while visualization adapts to the ever-shifting landscape of life. It's like riding a wave instead of trying to hold onto the shore. We move with the flow of life. By acknowledging the impermanence of all things, we develop a more flexible and resilient mindset. To overcome the habit of fantasizing, mindfulness becomes a valuable tool. It's like putting on glasses that help us see the present clearly. We become aware of our thoughts and gently guide them towards positive and realistic visualization. Mindfulness allows us to appreciate the beauty of the present moment while actively working towards our goals. Incorporating these teachings into our lives encourages us to shift from fantasies to visualization, fostering a more positive and grounded mindset. By embracing the principles of impermanence, right intention, and mindfulness, we break free from the habit of constructing castles in the air. Visualization becomes a powerful ally, helping us manifest positive realities and navigate the journey of life with purpose and resilience. Habit number 6, not making time for personal relationships. Neglecting personal relationships is like having a garden but forgetting to water the plants. Over time, everything withers away. This habit weakens our minds because humans are social beings, and meaningful connections bring joy and support. It's like trying to sail a boat without wind. We might move, but it's a slow and lonely journey. The teachings of Buddhism guide us to understand why this habit makes us mentally weak and how we can cultivate stronger connections through the gift of time. Neglecting personal connections is like closing the door to a warm and welcoming home. We miss out on the comfort and support that relationships can provide. When we don't make time for our loved ones, it's like neglecting a garden. The weeds of misunderstanding and distance start to grow. This habit weakens our minds because we may feel isolated without the nourishment of love and companionship. Building and maintaining relationships requires time and effort, much like tending to a garden to make it flourish. To overcome the habit of neglecting personal relationships, we can start by being present. Presence is like sunshine for relationships. It helps them thrive. When we spend quality time with our loved ones, it's like watering the plants regularly. It nurtures the bonds and strengthens our connection. Communication is another vital aspect of nurturing relationships. It's like the wind that fills the sails of a boat. It propels us forward. Taking the time to listen and share our thoughts and feelings is like the water that keeps the garden of relationships vibrant and alive. By being open and communicative, we foster understanding and deepen our connections. Buddhism encourages us to recognize the impermanence of life, including the time we have with our loved ones. It's like savoring a delicious meal. We appreciate it more when we know it won't last forever. By understanding the fleeting nature of time, we become motivated to prioritize relationships and invest the gift of our time in those we care about. Incorporating these teachings into our lives reminds us that personal relationships are like the threads that weave the fabric of our well-being. By making time for our loved ones, we cultivate a support system that strengthens our minds and enriches our lives. Breaking free from the habit of neglecting personal relationships allows us to navigate the journey of life with companions by our side, making the voyage more joyful and fulfilling. Habit number 7, letting your emotions rule you. Letting emotions rule us is like being carried away by a strong river current. We lose control and direction. This habit weakens our minds because emotions, when unmanaged, can become overwhelming and lead us astray. It's like being in a storm without a compass. We might get lost in the turbulence. The teachings of Buddhism guide us to understand why this habit makes us mentally weak and how we can develop emotional intelligence to navigate the currents of our feelings. In Buddhism, mindfulness is a powerful practice that encourages us to observe our emotions without getting swept away by them. It's like standing on the riverbank and watching the water flow. We can witness our emotions without being pulled under. When we let our emotions rule us, it's like being caught in a storm without an anchor. We get tossed around, and it becomes challenging to find our way. The concept of emotional intelligence involves recognizing, understanding, and managing our own emotions, as well as empathizing with the emotions of others. It's like having a compass in the storm. It helps us navigate through challenges and maintain a steady course. When we let our emotions control us, it's like handing over the steering wheel to a turbulent force, risking getting lost in the chaos. To overcome the habit of letting emotions rule us, mindfulness becomes a valuable ally. Mindfulness is like a sturdy boat. It helps us navigate through the waves without capsizing. By being present in the moment and observing our emotions with curiosity and non-judgment, we gain the ability to respond wisely instead of reacting impulsively. Buddhism encourages us to cultivate a balanced mind through practices like loving-kindness meditation. It's like planting seeds of compassion in our hearts. These seeds grow into a garden that allows us to respond to emotions with kindness, both towards ourselves and others. By embracing emotional intelligence, we develop a skill set that empowers us to understand, navigate, and learn from our emotions. Incorporating these teachings into our lives helps us break free from the habit of letting emotions rule us. Instead of being at the mercy of emotional storms, we become captains of our emotional ships, steering with mindfulness and compassion. By cultivating emotional intelligence, we navigate the seas of feelings with resilience, maintaining a steady course towards mental strength and well-being. Habit number 8. Trying to control everything. Trying to control everything is like juggling too many balls. It's exhausting, and eventually, we might drop them all. This habit weakens our minds because it sets us up for frustration and disappointment. It's like attempting to catch the wind, impossible and frustrating. The teachings of Buddhism guide us to understand why this habit makes us mentally weak and how we can find empowerment in the paradox of surrendering control. In Buddhism, the concept of non-attachment teaches us to let go of the illusion of control. It's like realizing we can't hold onto the clouds. They are always changing and shifting. When we try to control everything, it's like trying to hold onto water. It slips through our fingers, leaving us feeling powerless. Surrendering control doesn't mean giving up. Instead, it means recognizing the limits of our influence. It's like planting seeds in a garden. We nurture them, but we can't control the weather. The weather might bring rain or shine, but our role is to tend to the garden with care. When we accept that some things are beyond our control, we free ourselves from the constant struggle, much like releasing a tightly clenched fist. To overcome the habit of trying to control everything, mindfulness becomes our ally. Mindfulness is like a steady anchor. It keeps us grounded in the present moment. By focusing on what we can influence and letting go of the rest, we navigate the seas of uncertainty with grace and resilience. Buddhism encourages us to embrace the paradox that surrendering control leads to true empowerment. It's like realizing that by loosening our grip, we gain the strength to face life's challenges. When we surrender the need to control, it's like opening our hands to receive what life has to offer, rather than clinging to our preconceived notions. Incorporating these teachings into our lives invites us to release the burden of trying to control everything. By surrendering the illusion of control, we paradoxically find empowerment, like a sail catching the wind, propelling us forward with a sense of freedom. Breaking free from the habit of micromanaging every aspect of life, we discover the strength that comes from embracing the ebb and flow of existence. Habit number 9. Dwelling on the past. Dwelling on the past is like carrying a heavy backpack full of old stuff. It slows us down and makes the journey harder. This habit weakens our minds because it keeps us stuck in what's already happened, preventing us from fully enjoying the present or looking forward to the future. It's like trying to drive a car while constantly looking in the rearview mirror. We're likely to miss what's ahead. The teachings of Buddhism help us understand why dwelling on the past makes us mentally weak and how we can break free from these chains. In Buddhism, the practice of mindfulness teaches us to be present in the here and now. It's like opening the windows to let in fresh air. It clears out the stuffiness of dwelling on the past. When we dwell on what's behind us, it's like trying to walk backward. We might stumble and lose our way. By letting go of the past, we create space for new experiences and opportunities. Dwelling on the past also ties us to old wounds and grievances. It's like keeping a wound covered in a bandage long after it has healed. It hinders us from fully embracing life. Buddhism encourages us to practice forgiveness, not just for others, but also for ourselves. Forgiveness is like opening the door to release the past. It allows us to step into the present unburdened. The teachings of impermanence in Buddhism remind us that everything changes. It's like watching a river flow. The water never stays the same. When we cling to the past, it's like trying to freeze the river. It becomes stagnant and loses its vitality. By acknowledging the impermanence of all things, we free ourselves from the chains that bind us to past experiences. To overcome the habit of dwelling on the past, self-compassion is crucial. It's like offering a kind word to a friend in need. We deserve the same kindness. By treating ourselves with compassion and understanding, we break free from the self-imposed prison of regret and guilt. The past becomes a teacher rather than a jailer. Incorporating these teachings into our lives empowers us to let go of the chains that bind us to the past. By embracing mindfulness, forgiveness, and self-compassion, we create a path towards liberation. Breaking free from the habit of dwelling on the past allows us to step into the present with lightness and openness, ready to embrace the unfolding moments of our lives. Habit number 10. Worrying about what others say and do. Worrying about what others say and do is like carrying around a heavy backpack filled with other people's thoughts. It burdens our minds and hinders our authenticity. This habit weakens us because it ties our self-worth to external opinions, like sailing a boat that's tossed around by every passing wave. The teachings of Buddhism offer insights into why this habit makes us mentally weak and how we can liberate ourselves from the shackles of constant judgment. In Buddhism, the practice of equanimity encourages us to remain balanced amidst the changing tides of praise and criticism. It's like standing on solid ground while the winds of opinions blow. We stay steady. When we worry too much about what others say, it's like building our house on shaky ground. It becomes vulnerable to every passing storm. By cultivating equanimity, we develop resilience in the face of external judgments. Judging ourselves based on others' opinions is like letting someone else hold the mirror. We see ourselves through their eyes, not our own. Buddhism teaches the importance of self-acceptance and authenticity. It's like wearing our favorite clothes instead of trying to fit into someone else's wardrobe. We express ourselves genuinely. By letting go of the need for constant approval, we break free from the limitations imposed by others' expectations. Mindfulness, a central theme in Buddhism, helps us become aware of our thoughts and reactions. When we worry about what others say, it's like being lost in a maze of opinions. Mindfulness acts as a guiding light, helping us find our way back to our true selves. By being present in the moment, we can observe these worries without getting entangled in them. To overcome the habit of worrying about others' opinions, self-love becomes a powerful antidote. It's like planting seeds of kindness within ourselves. These seeds grow into a garden of self-acceptance. By recognizing our intrinsic worth and embracing our unique qualities, we build a shield against the arrows of external judgments. Incorporating these teachings into our lives liberates us from the mental weakness tied to worrying about what others say and do. By practicing equanimity, embracing authenticity, and cultivating self-love, we break free from the chains that bind us to external opinions. Breaking the habit of constant judgment allows us to navigate our own course, steering towards a life guided by inner strength and authenticity. The teachings of Buddhism provide a comprehensive guide to overcoming habits that make us mentally weak. By weaving mindfulness, compassion, and wisdom into the fabric of our daily lives, we can transcend negative patterns and cultivate enduring mental strength. This exploration serves as an invitation to embark on a transformative journey, integrating the profound teachings of Buddhism into the tapestry of our existence. May the wisdom of these teachings illuminate the path to a resilient and empowered mind, inspiring a life filled with purpose, compassion, and joy.
Do you feel like your life is trapped in an endless cycle, treading the same paths over and over again? Are your grand ambitions buried under the weight of pressure, chaos, and forces beyond your control? As 2025 unfolds before us, now is the perfect time to pause and ask yourself, how can you break free from this cycle and take charge of your future? Today, we're going to explore 10 powerful rules inspired by Buddhist teachings that will help you transform your life, eliminate the barriers holding you back, and unlock the success and peace you've been searching for. Stay with me, because this is the year you begin your true transformation. 1. Take charge of your life. In Buddhism, a core teaching is that we are responsible for our own actions, thoughts, and emotions. This means that instead of blaming others or circumstances for where we are, we acknowledge that we have control over how we respond to life. To begin transforming your life, the first step is to take full responsibility for your present situation. Reflect on where you are right now without judgment, and recognize that it's okay to be at any stage. By accepting your current reality, you empower yourself to take the next steps forward. Remember, every choice you make has the potential to shape your future, and this power lies entirely in your hands. When you accept this responsibility, you begin to move from a passive role to an active one, where you can actively design the life you want based on your values and aspirations. This approach leads to a deeper sense of self-awareness, confidence, and the realization that you have the ability to create meaningful change in your life. Taking charge of your life means no longer waiting for things to happen, but making them happen. It's about recognizing that even small changes made consistently lead to major transformations over time. Your future is not defined by your past. It is defined by the decisions you make today. 2. Write down your goals. In Buddhism, clarity and intention are essential for progress. One of the most powerful ways to transform your life is by setting clear goals. Writing down your goals not only gives you a sense of direction, but also helps you focus your energy on what truly matters. When you put your thoughts on paper, you externalize your dreams and make them more tangible. This simple act of writing helps you take your aspirations out of your mind and into reality. It also serves as a reminder of what you're working toward, keeping you motivated and grounded. The act of writing goals allows you to break them down into smaller, achievable steps. Buddhism teaches us that small, consistent actions lead to greater results, and having written goals gives you a clear roadmap to follow. Each goal can be a stepping stone, helping you stay focused on the bigger picture. Revisit your goals regularly to track your progress and make adjustments as needed. Writing your goals also connects you to your deeper values. By reflecting on what's truly important to you, you can set goals that align with your inner purpose and vision for your life. In 2025, make it a habit to write down your goals and revisit them often, as this practice will help you stay on track and continually evolve toward the person you want to become. 3. Build unbreakable discipline. Discipline is the backbone of transformation, both in Buddhism and in personal development. Buddhism teaches us that to live a meaningful life, we must cultivate self-control, consistency, and dedication. Without discipline, even the best intentions and goals can fall by the wayside. Building unbreakable discipline means creating habits that support your growth, even when motivation fades. It's about committing to your practices, whether it's meditation, exercise, or learning, no matter how you feel on any given day. To build discipline, start small and gradually increase your commitment. Begin by setting clear, achievable goals for yourself each day. These can be as simple as committing to meditate for 10 minutes in the morning or dedicating a set time for reading or working on your personal projects. Consistency is key. In Buddhism, the path to enlightenment isn't about doing something grand once, but about consistently walking the path each day. Similarly, your discipline will grow stronger as you practice consistently over time. Unbreakable discipline also involves self-compassion. If you slip up or fail, don't be too hard on yourself. Instead, see it as part of the learning process. Buddhism teaches us the importance of patience and forgiveness, both for others and ourselves. Building discipline is a journey, not a destination. So, in 2025, focus on strengthening your discipline every day by committing to small actions that lead to lasting change. 4. Eliminate toxic influences. In Buddhism, the concept of right association is key to personal growth. It teaches us that the people we surround ourselves with, the environments we spend time in, and even the media we consume have a significant impact on our well-being. To create a positive, transformative life in 2025, it's essential to eliminate toxic influences that drain your energy, hinder your growth, or disturb your peace of mind. Start by assessing your relationships. Are there people in your life who consistently bring negativity, stress, or emotional turmoil? It may be time to distance yourself from those who hold you back or drain your energy. Buddhism emphasizes the importance of surrounding yourself with people who uplift, inspire, and encourage your growth. Seek out relationships that promote understanding, kindness, and mutual respect. In addition to people, look at the environments and situations you put yourself in. Are you spending time in places that leave you feeling stressed or anxious? Are there activities or habits that don't align with your goals? Take a step back and evaluate how your surroundings impact your mental and emotional state. If something is toxic, whether it's a cluttered living space or a harmful routine, make the decision to change it. Eliminating toxic influences also means being mindful of the content you consume, including social media, news, and entertainment. Negative, fear-based, or overly competitive content can affect your mindset and peace. Replace it with content that inspires, educates, and nurtures your growth. By removing toxic influences, you create space for positivity, peace, and personal growth. Buddhism teaches us that our external world reflects our inner state, so when you clear out negativity from your life, you invite more clarity, focus, and joy into your daily experience. 5. Take risks and step out of your comfort zone. Buddhism teaches us that true growth happens when we step beyond our familiar boundaries and embrace the unknown. Staying in your comfort zone may feel safe, but it limits your potential and keeps you stuck in old habits. In 2025, one of the most powerful things you can do for your personal transformation is to take risks and venture into uncharted territory. Taking risks doesn't always mean dramatic or life-altering changes. It can be as simple as trying something new, starting a difficult conversation, or pursuing a goal that feels intimidating. Buddhism encourages us to embrace uncertainty and face challenges with courage, rather than avoiding them out of fear. By stepping out of your comfort zone, you expose yourself to new experiences that can teach valuable lessons and help you grow in ways you never imagined. When you take risks, you also begin to overcome fear, one of the biggest obstacles to change. Fear often arises from attachment to a specific outcome or desire for control. Buddhism teaches us to practice non-attachment, which means not letting fear dictate our decisions. Instead, trust that even if things don't go as planned, the experience will lead to valuable insights that support your growth. Taking risks helps you develop resilience and adaptability. Life is unpredictable, and by learning to embrace the unknown, you become more capable of navigating challenges with grace. So, in 2025, push yourself to take risks, step outside your comfort zone, and allow yourself to grow through each new experience. 6. Invest in yourself. In Buddhism, self-care and personal development are essential aspects of living a meaningful life. Investing in yourself is not only about material or external gains, but also about nurturing your mind, body, and spirit. When you invest in yourself, you prioritize your well-being, growth, and happiness, which ultimately allows you to contribute more positively to the world around you. Start by dedicating time and resources to practices that nourish you. Whether it's reading books, learning new skills, attending workshops, or taking courses, continuously expanding your knowledge and abilities is a form of self-investment. Buddhism emphasizes the importance of wisdom, and one of the best ways to gain wisdom is through education and self-reflection. The more you learn, the better equipped you are to navigate the challenges of life with clarity and confidence. Investing in yourself also means taking care of your physical health. In Buddhism, the body is viewed as a temple, and caring for it is vital for spiritual and emotional well-being. Prioritize exercise, eat nourishing foods, and get enough rest. When your body feels good, it becomes easier to focus, stay disciplined, and maintain the energy needed to work toward your goals. Emotional and mental well-being are just as important. Practice mindfulness, meditation, or journaling to stay connected to your inner self. Buddhism teaches us that inner peace comes from cultivating a balanced and centered mind. By taking the time to nurture your mental health, you strengthen your ability to respond to life with equanimity and grace. In 2025, make a commitment to invest in yourself, not just for material success, but for holistic growth. By putting effort into your personal development, you create a solid foundation for a more fulfilling and purposeful life. The more you invest in your own growth, the more you'll be able to give to others and make a positive impact on the world. 7. Manage your time wisely. Time is one of the most precious resources we have, and Buddhism teaches us the importance of being mindful of how we spend it. The concept of impermanence in Buddhism reminds us that every moment is fleeting, and once gone, it's gone forever. With this understanding, managing our time wisely becomes not only a practical necessity, but a spiritual practice as well. In 2025, learning to use your time effectively can be one of the most transformative actions you take. Start by recognizing that time is a reflection of your priorities. If you want to achieve something meaningful, you need to be intentional about where you place your focus and energy. It's easy to get caught up in distractions or to waste time on things that don't bring you closer to your goals. Buddhism teaches us that mindfulness is not just about being present in the moment, but also about being aware of where our attention is directed. So, to manage your time wisely, you need to become more conscious of your habits and make deliberate choices about how you spend your time. One of the best ways to manage time effectively is by creating a daily routine. A well-structured routine helps you prioritize important tasks while minimizing procrastination. When you plan your day around what truly matters, you'll find that your time is used more efficiently. Buddhism values routine as it promotes discipline and balance. By setting aside time for things like meditation, exercise, work, and self-care, you create space for each of your priorities without feeling overwhelmed. Another key principle in managing time wisely is learning to say no. Buddhism teaches us about the importance of non-attachment, and this includes not overcommitting to activities or obligations that don't align with your goals or values. It's important to recognize that your time and energy are limited, And sometimes the best way to show self-care is by declining requests or activities that drain you. By saying no to distractions or non-essential commitments, you make room for the things that truly matter, like personal growth, relationships, and self-reflection. Being mindful of time also means avoiding the trap of multitasking. Buddhism encourages us to focus on one thing at a time, fully engaging in whatever task is before us. Multitasking may seem productive, but it often leads to stress, burnout, and decreased quality of work. Instead, practice single-tasking, where you give your full attention to one task before moving on to the next. This not only improves the quality of your work, but also helps you stay present and mindful in each moment. Finally, managing your time wisely involves reflection and adjustment. At the end of each day or week, take a moment to reflect on how you've spent your time. Are you moving closer to your goals? Are you making time for self-care and rest? Buddhism teaches us to regularly assess our actions and make adjustments when necessary. By reflecting on how you spend your time, you ensure that you are living intentionally and aligning your actions with your values. In 2025, embrace the power of time management as a tool for both personal and spiritual growth. By being mindful of how you use your time, you'll find that your days become more purposeful, your goals more attainable, and your overall well-being more balanced. Remember, time is a precious gift. Use it wisely, and it will reward you with lasting transformation. 8. Develop a growth mindset. In Buddhism, the concept of impermanence extends beyond external circumstances and applies to our minds and abilities as well. The idea that we can grow, evolve, and develop throughout our lives is central to Buddhist philosophy. Developing a growth mindset, believing that your abilities and intelligence can be developed with effort, perseverance, and learning, is a key principle for transformation in 2025. A growth mindset allows you to face challenges not with fear or doubt, but with the understanding that every obstacle is an opportunity to learn and improve. Start by shifting your focus from a fixed mindset, where you believe your abilities are static, to a growth mindset, where you embrace the idea that you can always improve. In Buddhism, this aligns with the belief that the mind is like a garden. If nurtured and cared for, it can grow into something beautiful. No matter where you start, you have the potential to change, develop, and cultivate new skills. Rather than being discouraged by setbacks, view them as part of the learning process. Every failure or difficulty offers valuable lessons that guide you closer to your true potential. To develop a growth mindset, begin by embracing challenges. The Buddha taught that life's difficulties are not to be avoided, but accepted as part of the human experience. By facing challenges head-on, you build resilience and increase your capacity to learn. This might involve stepping outside your comfort zone, trying something new, or tackling tasks that seem daunting. Instead of feeling defeated, remind yourself that each challenge is an opportunity to grow, just as a plant grows stronger when faced with the wind. Another key aspect of a growth mindset is the willingness to learn from others. Buddhism encourages us to be humble and open to wisdom from all sources, whether it's through teachers, books, or personal experiences. Seek out people who inspire you, and don't be afraid to ask questions or seek guidance. Surround yourself with those who encourage your growth, and be willing to listen and absorb the lessons they have to offer. In addition, make room for reflection. In Buddhism, self-awareness and mindfulness are crucial for understanding our thoughts and behaviors. Take time regularly to reflect on your progress and identify areas where you can grow. This self-reflection helps you become aware of limiting beliefs and patterns that may hold you back, allowing you to shift your mindset toward more constructive, growth-oriented thinking. The key to developing a growth mindset is also to be patient with yourself. Growth doesn't happen overnight, and transformation is a gradual process. Buddhism teaches us to practice patience and compassion, especially toward ourselves. Understand that setbacks and challenges are part of the journey, and every step forward, no matter how small, is a step toward progress. In 2025, cultivate a growth mindset by embracing challenges, learning from others, and practicing patience. As you grow in this mindset, you will find that not only are you more capable of achieving your goals, but you also develop a deeper understanding of yourself and your potential. With a growth mindset, the possibilities for your life are endless. 9. Stay consistent and patient. One of the most powerful teachings in Buddhism is the idea of patience. Patience with ourselves, with others, and with life's natural rhythms. Transformation is not an event, but a process that requires consistency, steady effort, and trust in the journey. In Buddhism, the path to enlightenment is not instantaneous. It's built over time through consistent practice, reflection, and growth. This principle applies to every area of life, including personal development. If you want to transform your life in 2025, consistency and patience will be your greatest allies. Consistency is the foundation for lasting change. Whether you're working on a new habit, learning a new skill, or pursuing a long-term goal, success doesn't come from doing something extraordinary once. It comes from doing the ordinary things day in and day out. Buddhism emphasizes the power of small, consistent actions. The Buddha taught that even the most massive tree starts as a tiny seed, and through consistent care and time, it grows into something mighty. Similarly, every small step you take towards your goal, whether it's meditating for 10 minutes a day, writing a few lines of your book, or exercising for 20 minutes, contributes to the greater transformation you desire. To stay consistent, create routines that support your goals. This doesn't mean rigidly following a schedule, but rather developing practices that help you stay on track without feeling overwhelmed. In Buddhism, mindfulness is about staying present and focused on the task at hand without getting lost in distractions. Whether it's your work, personal growth, or relationships, being mindful of how you spend your time and energy helps you stay committed to your path. Consistency is also about building habits which allow your goals to become second nature. The more you practice something, the easier it becomes to continue, even on days when motivation is low. But consistency alone is not enough. Patience is equally essential. Transformation doesn't happen overnight. Often the changes we seek will take months or even years to manifest fully. This is where patience comes in. Buddhism teaches that everything has its natural course and timing. Just as a plant doesn't grow from seed to full bloom in a single day, neither will your personal growth happen in an instant. Trust the process and be gentle with yourself as you move toward your goals. Allow yourself the grace to fail, to rest, and to start over when necessary. It's easy to become discouraged when results don't show up as quickly as we hope, but remember that growth is often slow and unseen at first. Buddha spoke of the gradual path to awakening, and this applies to all forms of growth. Sometimes, even when we don't see immediate results, the small actions we are taking are building a strong foundation for future success. Patience teaches you to trust that progress is happening, even when it feels invisible. A key aspect of staying patient is learning to enjoy the process, not just the outcome. In Buddhism, this is known as right effort, which emphasizes the importance of finding joy in the work itself, rather than fixating only on the end result. When you learn to enjoy the journey of growth, consistency becomes easier because it's not just about achieving a goal, it's about the fulfillment you find in the practice. Whether it's the mindfulness you gain from meditation or the sense of accomplishment from learning something new, the journey becomes its own reward. To stay patient and consistent in 2025, remember that transformation is a lifelong journey. Be kind to yourself during the times when progress seems slow and celebrate the small wins along the way. Trust in the process and know that every effort, no matter how small, is contributing to your ultimate transformation. Just like the lotus that grows through the mud, your consistent, patient efforts will lead you to a life of beauty, peace, and fulfillment. 10. Practice daily. Gratitude. Gratitude is a transformative practice that can have a profound impact on your life, both mentally and spiritually. In Buddhism, the concept of gratitude is deeply intertwined with the teachings on mindfulness and contentment. By recognizing the blessings, big and small, in our lives, we shift our focus from what's lacking to what's already abundant. Practicing gratitude daily can help you cultivate a deeper sense of peace, joy, and fulfillment, making it an essential practice for life transformation in 2025. Start by developing a gratitude practice that fits into your daily routine. This can be as simple as taking a few moments each morning or evening to reflect on the things you're grateful for. Whether it's your health, relationships, nature, or the opportunities in your life, make it a habit to acknowledge the blessings around you. Buddhism teaches that even the simplest things, such as a warm meal, a kind word, or a peaceful moment, are worthy of gratitude. The more you practice noticing these moments, the more your heart opens to the beauty of the world around you. In addition to reflecting on your gratitude, consider expressing it. This can be through writing in a gratitude journal, sending a thank you note to someone, or simply offering a kind word to someone who has helped you. Buddhism emphasizes the importance of generosity, and expressing gratitude is a form of generosity that can create deeper connections with others. When you openly acknowledge and express gratitude, you not only enhance your own well-being, but also uplift those around you. Gratitude also helps shift your mindset from scarcity to abundance. It's easy to focus on what's missing in our lives, but when we train our minds to look for the positives, we begin to see that there is more than enough to be thankful for. This shift in perspective is transformative. As you begin to notice and appreciate the small things, you'll find that your life feels richer, more meaningful, and more fulfilled. Another aspect of daily gratitude is its ability to ground you in the present moment. In Buddhism, mindfulness is the practice of being fully present in the here and now. When you express gratitude, you connect with the present moment, appreciating what you have rather than longing for something more. This practice helps you let go of the tendency to constantly compare or worry about the future, allowing you to embrace life as it is. In 2025, make gratitude a daily practice. As you begin to notice the blessings around you and express your thanks, you'll find that your life becomes more aligned with peace and happiness. The simple act of practicing gratitude can open your heart, shift your mindset, and help you experience a deeper sense of fulfillment, allowing you to transform your life from the inside out. Whether it's a quiet moment of reflection or a loud expression of thanks, gratitude is a powerful tool for creating lasting change and inner peace. These 10 rules for life transformation are powerful tools that, when applied consistently, can help you create the life you desire in 2025. By taking charge of your life, building discipline, eliminating negativity, and focusing on growth, you'll open the door to a more fulfilling and peaceful future. Thank you for watching, and remember to like, share, and subscribe for more life-changing content. Imagine living a life where nothing disrupts your inner peace, where you're unaffected by insults, challenges, or surrounding chaos. How empowering would that be? Today, we'll explore 10 transformative Buddhist principles that can help you achieve this calm state of mind. As Buddha once said, peace comes from within. Do not seek it outside. Let's discover together how to create this inner sanctuary. Principle 1. Insults and offenses. In Buddhism, we learn that insults and offenses only have power if we give them power. Picture someone throwing a rock into a pond. The water ripples but eventually returns to stillness. Similarly, when someone says something hurtful, it can disturb our peace briefly, but we can choose to let it go and return to our calm state. Buddha said holding on to anger is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. This means when we cling to anger and resentment, we suffer, not the person who insulted us. Their words often reflect their own issues rather than ours. By recognizing that others' words mirror their state of mind, we can respond with compassion instead of letting their negativity affect us. This way, we stay unaffected and keep our inner peace, like the pond returning to stillness after the ripples fade. Principle 2. Transform everyone into a teacher. In Buddhism, we're encouraged to view every person we meet as a teacher. This means everyone, whether they bring us joy or challenges, has something valuable to teach us. As Buddha taught, when you take care of yourself, you take care of others. When you take care of others, you take care of yourself. Adopting this perspective helps us turn negative experiences into chances for growth. For example, if someone is unkind to us, we can learn patience and compassion. Viewing others as our teachers keeps us open-minded and less affected by negativity. Every interaction then becomes an opportunity to learn and grow, helping us stay centered and resilient. Principle 3. Transform envy into emulation. Instead of feeling envy, Buddhism encourages us to turn envy into emulation. When we see someone succeeding or possessing qualities we admire, we can choose to be inspired rather than envious. As Buddha said, do not be jealous of others' good qualities, but, out of admiration, adopt them yourself. Instead of feeling bad about ourselves, we can use the success of others as motivation to improve ourselves. By admiring and learning from them, we can grow and get better without feeling diminished. Transforming envy into emulation helps us stay positive and focused on our own progress, unaffected by comparisons and negativity. Principle 4. Be strict with yourself, but tolerant of others. Buddhism teaches us to hold ourselves to high standards while being tolerant of others' faults. This means we should strive for personal excellence without being harsh or judgmental towards others. As Buddha said, you yourself, as much as anybody in the entire universe, deserve your love and affection. By being strict with ourselves, we focus on our own growth and improvement, becoming more disciplined and developing a stronger sense of self-respect. At the same time, being tolerant of others helps us cultivate empathy and understanding, recognizing that everyone is on their own journey. This balanced approach fosters both personal development and better relationships with others. By practicing self-discipline and tolerance, we remain calm and composed, unaffected by others' actions or mistakes. This way, we build a harmonious life filled with personal growth and compassionate connections. Principle 5. No one can hurt you. Buddhism teaches that no one can truly hurt us without our consent. This means that while others' actions can be hurtful, how we react to them is under our control. As Buddha said, no one saves us but ourselves. No one can and no one may. We ourselves must walk the path. When we develop a strong sense of self and inner peace, we become resilient to external harm. Imagine a tree standing firm against a strong wind. It may bend, but doesn't break. Similarly, by cultivating inner strength, we can handle life's challenges without being deeply affected. This principle encourages us to take responsibility for our own well-being rather than blaming others for our pain. By focusing on building our inner resilience through practices like meditation, mindfulness, and self-reflection, we strengthen our inner core and become less susceptible to external negativity. Understanding that no one can hurt us without our consent empowers us and gives us the freedom to choose how we respond to life's difficulties. By maintaining our inner peace and not letting others' actions disturb us, we live a more serene and empowered life. Principle 6. The power of acceptance. Acceptance is a powerful tool in Buddhism. It involves embracing things as they are, without resistance or judgment. As Buddha taught, accept what is, let go of what was, and have faith in what will be. When we accept situations and people as they are, we free ourselves from the pain of trying to change things beyond our control. This doesn't mean we become passive. Instead, it means we acknowledge the present moment and respond with clarity and wisdom. Acceptance allows us to save our energy for positive actions rather than wasting it on resistance. Imagine being in a boat on a river. Fighting against the current will tire you out, but by accepting the flow, you can navigate more effectively. Similarly, by accepting life's ups and downs, we can handle challenges more smoothly. Practicing acceptance also fosters compassion and understanding. When we accept others' flaws and all, we build stronger, more empathetic relationships, creating a supportive environment where everyone feels valued and understood. Acceptance doesn't mean we stop striving for improvement. It means we do so from a place of peace and understanding. By embracing the present moment and letting go of resistance, we reduce our suffering and maintain calm and contentment, no matter the circumstances. This inner peace allows us to live more fully and joyfully, unaffected by life's inevitable changes. Principle 7. Living according to nature. Living in harmony with nature and its rhythms helps us stay grounded. As Buddha said, just as a candle cannot burn without fire, man cannot live without a spiritual life. This principle encourages us to align our lives with the natural world and its cycles. By living according to nature, we recognize the interconnectedness of all life and appreciate the beauty and balance of our surroundings. For example, the changing seasons teach us about growth, decay, and renewal, reminding us that change is a natural part of life. By following natural rhythms, such as waking with the sunrise and resting when it sets, we enhance our physical and mental well-being. This alignment with nature helps us feel more balanced and less stressed. It also promotes a healthier lifestyle, encouraging activities like spending time outdoors, eating whole foods, and practicing mindfulness. Living according to nature also means respecting and protecting the environment, fostering a sense of responsibility and stewardship for the planet. Embracing the simplicity and wisdom of nature helps us let go of modern stresses, creating a more peaceful and fulfilling life. By focusing on essentials and reducing unnecessary complexities, we remain unaffected by artificial stresses, finding solace and strength in the natural world. Integrating nature's wisdom into our daily lives helps us stay connected to our true selves and the world around us, promoting a deeper sense of harmony and resilience. Principle 8. Focus on ethical living. Ethical living is central to Buddhism. Buddha taught, "The mind is everything. What you think, you become." This profound teaching highlights the power of our thoughts and their direct impact on our lives. In Buddhism, ethical living involves following principles such as honesty, compassion, and respect for all living beings. It starts with understanding that our actions, words, and thoughts have consequences. This is summed up in the law of karma, which teaches that our deeds create ripples that return to us in some form. By focusing on right actions and moral behavior, we build a foundation of integrity that shields us from negative influences. This means being truthful in our words, kind in our actions, and fair in our dealings with others. When we live ethically, we create positive karma, leading to a more peaceful and harmonious life. For example, practicing honesty builds trust and reliability, which strengthens relationships and fosters a sense of community. Speaking truthfully creates an atmosphere of trust and transparency, helping us form deeper and more meaningful connections with others. Acts of kindness and compassion not only benefit those around us, but also bring us joy and fulfillment. Simple gestures, like helping a neighbor or showing empathy to a friend, can greatly enhance our well-being and happiness. Respecting all living beings, including animals and nature, strengthens our connection to the world and promotes harmonious coexistence. Ethical living also helps us maintain a clear conscience, reducing guilt and regret that can disturb our inner peace. It encourages us to think before we act, ensuring that our actions align with our values and do not harm others. By avoiding actions that cause harm, such as lying, stealing, or engaging in violence, we prevent negative consequences and preserve our mental and emotional well-being. This self-awareness and reflection enable us to handle life's challenges calmly and with a clear mind. Ethical living involves self-discipline and self-control. It requires us to avoid behaviors that lead to suffering, such as dishonesty or harm. Practicing self-restraint and making thoughtful choices strengthen our moral character and resilience. For instance, abstaining from gossip not only prevents harm to others, but also keeps our minds free from negativity. Gossip can lead to conflict and misunderstandings, while choosing to forgive rather than hold grudges releases us from anger and resentment, fostering a more peaceful state of mind. Forgiveness allows us to move forward without being burdened by past grievances, opening the path to healing and reconciliation. Focusing on ethical living according to Buddhist principles helps us create a life of integrity, peace, and harmony. It shields us from negative influences and allows us to positively impact the world around us. By practicing these principles, we grow in wisdom and compassion, becoming a source of inspiration and support for others. Our ethical behavior sets an example, encouraging a community and society that values moral principles. By living ethically, we enhance our own lives and contribute to a better world for everyone. Integrating ethical living into our daily lives strengthens our moral compass, guiding us in making the right decisions even in tough situations. This inner strength and clarity help us navigate life's complexities with confidence and grace. Furthermore, ethical living cultivates a sense of purpose and fulfillment, as we know our actions contribute to the greater good. This sense of purpose is a powerful motivator, sustaining us through difficult times and inspiring us to strive for excellence. Ethical living is not just about following rules. It's about embodying values that define who we are and how we interact with the world. It's about living with integrity, compassion, and respect, and creating a positive impact on the lives of those around us. By focusing on ethical living, we build a life that is meaningful, fulfilling, resilient, and unshaken by external influences. Principle 9. Practice gratitude. Practicing gratitude is a powerful principle that can transform our perspective on life. Instead of focusing on what we lack or what's going wrong, gratitude shifts our attention to what we already have and what is going well. This simple change in focus can greatly improve our mental and emotional well-being. Buddha emphasized the importance of gratitude with the words, "Let us rise up and be thankful, for if we didn't learn a lot today, at least we learned a little." This quote reminds us that there is always something to be thankful for, no matter how small. It encourages us to recognize and appreciate the positive aspects of our lives. In every situation, Even on days that feel challenging or unproductive, practicing gratitude helps us recognize and appreciate the small blessings we often overlook. This might be something as simple as enjoying a beautiful sunrise, savoring our favorite food, receiving support from a loved one, or finding comfort in a warm home. By acknowledging these moments of joy and expressing thanks for them, we foster a positive outlook on life. Gratitude also acts as a shield against negativity and stress. When we focus on the good things in our lives, we are less likely to dwell on the negatives. This doesn't mean we ignore problems or pretend they don't exist, but rather we balance them with an awareness of the positives. Over time, this practice helps us develop a resilient mindset, making it easier to handle life's ups and downs. Expressing gratitude can also strengthen our relationships. When we show appreciation to others, it fosters a sense of connection and mutual respect. Whether it's thanking a friend for their support, appreciating a colleague's hard work, or acknowledging a stranger's kindness, these small acts of gratitude can deepen our bonds and create a more positive social environment. Incorporating gratitude into our daily routine can be simple and effective. Some people find it helpful to keep a gratitude journal, where they write down a few things they are thankful for each day. This practice serves as a powerful reminder of the good in our lives, shifting our focus from what's missing to what's present. Others might practice gratitude through meditation or prayer, taking a few moments each day to reflect on their blessings and express their thanks. Another way to cultivate gratitude is through mindful observation. By paying close attention to our surroundings and the people in our lives, we can find many opportunities to be grateful. This might involve noticing the beauty of nature, the warmth of the sun, the sound of birds chirping, or the laughter of a loved one. Mindful observation helps us stay present and appreciate the richness of our experiences. Gratitude can also be expressed through acts of kindness. When we do something nice for someone else, it benefits them and reinforces our own sense of gratitude. Acts of kindness can be as simple as holding the door open for someone, offering a compliment, or helping a neighbor with their groceries. These actions create a ripple effect, spreading positivity and gratitude throughout our communities. In times of difficulty or stress, practicing gratitude can be especially beneficial. It reminds us that even in challenging times, there are still things to be thankful for. This perspective can provide comfort and hope, helping us navigate tough situations with greater resilience. By focusing on what we have rather than what we lack, we maintain a sense of peace and contentment, even when life is difficult. Regularly acknowledging and appreciating the blessings in our lives helps us stay grounded and positive. We build a positive outlook that protects us from negativity and stress. Gratitude is a powerful tool that can shift our perspective, improve our relationships, and enhance our overall well-being. As we integrate gratitude into our daily lives, we develop a mindset of abundance and positivity, helping us remain unaffected by challenges and negativity. Principle 10. Trust the process and let go of control. Trusting the process and letting go of the need to control everything is a fundamental Buddhist principle. Buddha taught that the root of suffering is attachment. This means that our desire to cling to specific outcomes, people or things, often leads to our own suffering. When we become attached to exact results or rigid expectations, we set ourselves up for disappointment and stress. By surrendering to the flow of life, we allow things to unfold naturally without forcing them. This doesn't mean we stop making efforts or pursuing goals. Instead, we do our best and then release our tight grip on how things must turn out. Trusting the process means having faith that things will work out as they are meant to, even if not exactly as we envisioned. Imagine you are in a river. If you try to swim against the current, you will exhaust yourself, and make little progress. But if you go with the flow, you move smoothly and effortlessly. Similarly, in life, when we stop resisting and start accepting, we find a sense of peace and calm. This practice of letting go can be applied in various areas of life, such as relationships, career aspirations, or personal challenges. For example, in relationships, we often want to control how others behave or how situations should unfold. This can lead to frustration and conflict when things don't go as planned. By letting go, we can appreciate people for who they are and allow relationships to develop naturally. When we stop trying to mold others to fit our expectations, we open up to genuine connections and deeper understanding. Accepting people as they are, without trying to change them, fosters a sense of harmony and mutual respect. In our careers, we might have a specific vision of success and feel disheartened if we face obstacles or detours. By trusting the process, we understand that every experience, even setbacks, contributes to our growth and learning. We become more adaptable and open to new opportunities we might not have previously considered. Sometimes, what appears to be a failure or detour can actually be a stepping stone to something greater. By letting go of rigid career plans, we can discover paths that are more fulfilling and aligned with our true passions. Personal challenges, such as health issues or unexpected life changes, can also test our ability to let go of control. Instead of resisting these changes, we can choose to accept them and look for ways to adapt. This doesn't mean giving up. It means finding a new path that fits the current reality. For example, dealing with a chronic illness might require adjusting your lifestyle and finding new ways to enjoy life. By accepting and adapting, you can find peace and even new joys in your changed circumstances. Trusting the process also involves being present. When we focus too much on the future, we miss out on the present moment. By letting go of our need to control the future, we can fully engage with the here and now, finding joy and contentment in the present. Living in the moment allows us to appreciate life's small pleasures, like a beautiful sunset, a child's laughter, or a quiet moment of reflection. This principle encourages us to cultivate patience and trust, understanding that life has its own timing and rhythm. By letting go of our attachments and expectations, we navigate life's ups and downs with grace, becoming more resilient and less affected by external circumstances. Patience helps us endure life's waiting periods without anxiety. Trusting the process means believing that everything happens for a reason and in its own time. Remember, letting go is not a one-time event, but a continuous practice. It requires mindfulness and self-awareness. Whenever you find yourself trying to control outcomes or becoming overly attached to certain desires, take a step back, breathe, and remind yourself of the principle of non-attachment. Embrace uncertainty and trust that the process will guide you to where you need to be. Each time you practice letting go, you strengthen your ability to remain calm and centered, no matter what life throws at you. As Buddha said, you only lose what you cling to. By practicing non-attachment and trusting the process, you foster a deeper sense of peace and resilience. By trusting the process, we find peace within ourselves, no matter the chaos happening around us. Non-attachment doesn't mean being indifferent. Rather, it means engaging fully with life while letting go of the need to control every aspect. This approach allows us to experience life with a sense of freedom and joy, understanding that we are not defined by our circumstances, but by how we respond to them. Trusting the process involves having faith in the journey and believing that everything unfolds as it should. It teaches us to release our fears and anxieties about the future, trusting that we will have the strength and wisdom to handle whatever comes our way. By embracing this principle, we cultivate a deep inner peace that remains steady despite external events. Integrating these 10 Buddhist principles into our daily lives helps us develop a state of mind where we remain unaffected by external influences. Remember, true peace comes from within. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with others seeking tranquility. Have you ever felt drained from always putting others first? Or maybe you've noticed that your own goals are constantly being overlooked. What if I told you that your kindness might be the culprit? We're often told that we should be kind and put other people's needs ahead of our own. But does anyone tell us that being too kind and caring can be dangerous? We live in a world where we don't always see the consequences of our actions. In today's video, we're revealing the surprising ways your kindness could be backfiring, featuring timeless wisdom from Buddha to guide us. Stay tuned to learn how to balance your giving nature without sacrificing your own well-being. 1. You will have too high hopes for people. Buddha once said, "Do not expect others to be kind, just be kind yourself." This quote reminds us that while we should strive to be kind, we shouldn't always expect others to reciprocate. When you're naturally kind-hearted, it's easy to believe that others will treat you with the same kindness and respect. However, this isn't always the case. People have different values, experiences, and motivations that influence their behavior. When others don't respond with the kindness you expect, it can lead to feelings of disappointment and frustration. It's important to manage your expectations and understand that kindness should be given freely, without the hope of getting something in return. By doing so, you protect your emotional well-being and avoid unnecessary heartache. 2. People will see you as weak. Buddha taught, "He who envies others does not obtain peace of mind." This quote highlights the importance of inner strength and not letting others' perceptions affect your peace. However, some people might misinterpret your consistent kindness as a sign of weakness or lack of assertiveness. They might think you're easily manipulated or that you lack the strength to stand up for yourself. This can lead to situations where others undermine you or take advantage of your good nature. It's crucial to balance kindness with assertiveness. Being kind doesn't mean you have to agree with everything or let others walk all over you. Stand your ground when necessary and show that kindness is a strength, not a weakness. This way, you maintain your integrity and command respect while still being true to your kind nature. 3. Your goals will be overlooked. Buddha said, "Your work is to discover your work, and then with all your heart to give yourself to it." This quote emphasizes the importance of finding and dedicating yourself to your own path. When you are constantly focused on helping others achieve their goals, it's easy to lose sight of your own ambitions and dreams. This often happens because your time and energy are spent on supporting others, leaving little room for your personal growth and aspirations. Over time, your own goals might be overlooked or forgotten, which can lead to feelings of unfulfillment and frustration. To avoid this, it's essential to set boundaries and prioritize your own needs and objectives. While it's noble to help others, remember that your goals and dreams are just as important. Make time to reflect on what you truly want to achieve and take concrete steps towards those goals. By balancing your kindness with a focus on your personal ambitions, you can ensure that your own journey is not neglected. This balance will help you lead a more fulfilling and well-rounded life. 4. You'll attract people who only want something. Buddha advised, "An insincere and evil friend is more to be feared than a wild beast. A wild beast may wound your body, but an evil friend will wound your mind." This wisdom underscores the dangers of associating with people who have ulterior motives. When you are consistently kind and generous, you may attract individuals who see your kindness as an opportunity to take advantage of you. These people are often only interested in what they can gain from you, rather than forming a genuine reciprocal relationship. These one-sided relationships can be draining and damaging. You might find yourself constantly giving while receiving little to no support in return. This dynamic can lead to feelings of resentment and emotional exhaustion. It's important to recognize and distance yourself from such people. To protect yourself, be discerning about the people you allow into your life. True friends will value you for who you are, not just for what you can provide. Establish clear boundaries and don't be afraid to say no when necessary. By doing so, you ensure that your kindness is shared with those who genuinely appreciate and reciprocate it, fostering healthier and more balanced relationships. 5. People will expect you to always give. Buddha once said, "You yourself, as much as anybody in the entire universe, deserve your love and affection." This quote highlights the importance of self-care and self-respect. When you're consistently kind and giving, it sets a precedent where people start to expect you to always be available to help. This can quickly become overwhelming and exhausting, as you may feel pressured to meet everyone's needs all the time. When people grow accustomed to your constant generosity, they might take it for granted and start to see it as your obligation rather than a choice. This can lead to an imbalanced dynamic where you are continually giving and others are continually taking, without considering your limits or needs. To avoid this, it's crucial to set boundaries and communicate them clearly. Understand that it's perfectly okay to say no sometimes and prioritize your own well-being. By setting limits, you can manage others' expectations and ensure that your kindness is not being exploited. Remember, taking care of yourself allows you to be genuinely helpful and kind without burning out. Balancing your generosity with self-care ensures that you can continue to give in a healthy and sustainable way. 6. You could develop bad habits. Buddha taught to keep the body in good health is a duty. Otherwise, we shall not be able to keep our mind strong and clear. This wisdom underscores the essential link between physical health and mental clarity. When you overextend yourself to be kind to others, you might start neglecting your own needs. This can lead to developing bad habits that negatively impact your health and overall well-being. One of the most common bad habits is poor time management. When you're always available for others, you might find yourself constantly juggling tasks, which can lead to a chaotic and unstructured daily routine. This often results in skipping meals, eating unhealthy convenience foods, and sacrificing sleep to meet the demands of others. Lack of proper nutrition and rest can lead to a weakened immune system, making you more susceptible to illnesses and stress. Furthermore, neglecting physical exercise is another bad habit that can develop. When your schedule is filled with commitments to help others, you may find little to no time left for regular physical activity. Exercise is crucial not only for maintaining physical health, but also for reducing stress and improving mental well-being. Without it, you may experience increased stress levels, fatigue, and a decline in overall health. Another significant impact of overextending kindness is the potential for emotional burnout. Constantly prioritizing others' needs over your own can lead to emotional exhaustion, where you feel drained and unable to cope with your own emotions. This emotional strain can manifest in various unhealthy coping mechanisms, such as overeating, excessive use of caffeine or alcohol, and other harmful behaviors. In the long run, these bad habits can accumulate, leading to serious health issues such as chronic fatigue, anxiety, depression, and other stress-related disorders. They can also impact your relationships and productivity as your ability to function effectively diminishes. To prevent these negative outcomes, it's essential to establish a balanced approach to kindness. Set aside time for self-care and ensure that your own needs are met. Develop a routine that includes regular exercise, balanced nutrition, and adequate rest. Practice mindfulness and stress management techniques to keep your mind and body in harmony. Learning to say no is also crucial. It doesn't make you less kind. It simply means you are setting healthy boundaries to protect your well-being. Communicate your limits clearly to others, and don't feel guilty about taking time for yourself. By prioritizing your health, you not only preserve your ability to help others, but also set a positive example for those around you. Remember, you can't pour from an empty cup. Prioritizing your own health and well-being ensures that you have the energy, strength, and clarity to continue being kind and helpful in a sustainable way. Buddha's teachings remind us that self-care is not selfish. It's a necessary duty to maintain the balance needed for a fulfilling and compassionate life. 7. People will be suspicious of your kindness. Buddha said, "There is nothing more dreadful than the habit of doubt. Doubt separates people." This quote sheds light on how suspicion and doubt can create barriers between individuals. In a world where ulterior motives are often assumed, your consistent kindness can sometimes be met with skepticism. People may question your intentions, wondering if your kindness is genuine or if there's a hidden agenda behind your actions. When people are suspicious of your kindness, it can create a sense of mistrust that affects your relationships. Instead of being appreciated for your generosity, you might find yourself facing questions and doubts about why you're being so nice. This suspicion can be particularly disheartening because it challenges your integrity and the sincerity of your actions. There are several reasons why people might be suspicious of kindness. First, in a society where competition and self-interest are often prioritized, genuine acts of kindness can seem unusual or too good to be true. People might have been conditioned to expect ulterior motives, leading them to question the authenticity of your intentions. They might think, "What's in it for them?" or "Why are they being so nice?" This skepticism can be even more pronounced if they have experienced betrayal or manipulation in the past. Some individuals might project their own insecurities or past experiences onto your actions. If they've been hurt or taken advantage of before, they may struggle to accept that someone can be kind without expecting anything in return. This projection of their own doubts can make it difficult for them to trust your motives. Cultural and social factors can play a role. In some cultures or social environments, people are more accustomed to transactional relationships, where every action is expected to have a corresponding return. In such settings, unconditional kindness can be perceived as unusual or suspicious. This constant scrutiny can be emotionally taxing. You may feel misunderstood and frustrated as your genuine efforts to help and support others are met with doubt and mistrust. Over time, this can lead to feelings of isolation and disillusionment, making you question whether your kindness is worth the effort. To navigate this challenge, it's important to remain steadfast in your values and continue to be kind despite the suspicion. Authenticity is key. Over time, consistent and genuine actions can help break down the barriers of doubt. As people see that your kindness is unwavering and without hidden motives, they may begin to trust and appreciate your intentions. It's also helpful to communicate openly about your motivations. If someone questions your kindness, explain that you believe in the value of helping others, and that your actions are driven by genuine care and compassion. This transparency can help to alleviate some of their doubts and build trust. It's crucial to surround yourself with a supportive network of people who understand and appreciate your kindness. Having friends and family who recognize and value your intentions can provide emotional support and help reinforce your positive actions. Practice self-compassion. Understand that you can't control how others perceive you, and their suspicion is often more about their own experiences and insecurities than it is about you. Stay true to your values and don't let doubt and skepticism deter you from being kind. While it can be challenging to deal with suspicion towards your kindness, maintaining authenticity, clear communication, and a supportive network can help you navigate this issue. Buddha's teachings remind us that doubt can separate people, but genuine kindness, consistency, and transparency can help bridge the gap and build trust over time. Remember that your kindness has the power to change perceptions gradually, and that staying true to your compassionate nature is ultimately rewarding, even if it takes time for others to see it. By continually demonstrating genuine kindness, you can slowly break down the walls of suspicion and show that your intentions are pure. Over time, people may come to see that your actions are driven by true compassion, and this can inspire others to embrace kindness as well. Additionally, your steadfastness in maintaining your values can serve as a powerful example, encouraging those around you to adopt a more trusting and open-hearted approach to relationships. In the end, your consistent and unwavering kindness can contribute to a more positive and compassionate world, one interaction at a time. By doing so, you not only enhance your own life, but also help create a ripple effect of kindness and trust that can transform your community and beyond.